have to set down the microphone, I think, to try and do show and tell. I'm going to try and do this live. I do have the slides for backup if I need them. There's my friend Reed. So when you're on the home page or somebody's profile page with the contact section, the search defaults to people. But there are all these other categories. So if we go to the home page, you can see that there is sort of a Facebook or Twitter style feed of updates. And some of these are people posting articles. Some of it is system-generated updates saying that this person is now connected to that person, or this person has changed jobs. Okay, so that's one of the places where you might see that. And if you navigate around the site, if you go into the companies section, and I mention this just because I've been confused by it too. If I try and type in here somebody's name, it's going to try and search for a company with that name. Okay? But for starters, we want to search for people. Now suppose we're not searching for a person by name. Suppose we have an accounting scandal of some sort that we're covering. We want to find somebody who has expertise in forensic accounting. First gentleman on the list, I believe, spoke at an SPJ event, so that's why we're direct connections. And all these people who are listed as this number over here, all these people who are listed as second-degree connections, they're probably his friends. Otherwise, they wouldn't be connected to a lot of forensic accountants. And if I go into his profile, I can send him a message. I don't have to go through an introduction or whatever because we're already connected. I can also go down here and see who his other connections are. See, we have a few in common. Somebody at the South Florida Business Journal, some other folks. I can go to see all connections, and I can basically root around in his network and see other people who might be sources for my story.
You can only see that if you're connected to him.
You can only see it if you're connected to him, correct. And let me just try and, just to contrast that, see something else that's kind of interesting if you're looking at somebody who's a degree away from you. What you see is how you're connected to John. And I confess I have no idea who Stephen Bennett is, but we could look. But actually, what we can do here, suppose I was going to ask him for a connection. I'm not going to do this right now. But if I said I wanted to be connected to a friend or a colleague, on the next screen it would ask me who that was. And this person who's the intermediary would receive a message saying, Dave says you're his friend, will you pass on this message? And he can either do it or not. Oh no, I'm sorry, this is, actually I'm confusing a couple of things. This is asking for a connection. Here I'm saying I'm his friend. Well, I'm not really his friend, it's not a good approach. I could say we've done business together. It's going to show me all the roles that are in my profile where we've done business together. Some people will say, I'm a colleague here. And I'm kind of annoyed by this when people tell me that I'm their colleague and we've never actually worked together. Some people will do that just as a way of kind of gaming the system, but it's kind of a phony thing. And I think if you click Other here, it's going to prompt you for his email address. If we had a group in common, it would show that as an option of getting together. I'm sorry, it's not worth going back.
So it's a good idea to hit the I don't know, John?
You don't. Being honest.
Well, let's see. Let me try and get back.
I think it doesn't send it.
Just to be clear. This is where I'm asking for a connection. A connection you normally are going to ask for after you actually have made some sort of connection with this person. Or at least have something in common with a group in common. But if I'm trying to send him a message, let's say I either don't have the InMail or I don't want to use it in this situation, maybe I'd like to use this intermediary we have in common to kind of warm it up so it's not a cold call. I'm going to ask for an introduction. This will work. And if there were several people who were in the middle, I'd get to choose. Here I'm going to choose this guy. And I would put in a subject line. I'd explain why I want to get introduced. And he would pass it along with sort of a cover letter saying, Dave's an okay guy, you can talk to him about this accounting scandal. So that can be a way of warming up the connection. You know, sometimes when I'm in more of a hurry, I like having the InMail option available. Again, if you don't get the upgraded account for free, use the introduction system and learn how